Yay! Hello, everybody, and welcome to MangaPod. We are a weekly podcast which we all get together after we've read all or part of a manga, and then we discuss it with friendship, love, and lots of spoilers. This week, we are discussing My Hero Academia, Boku no Hero, chapters 57 through 89. Trying to figure out where I am. I'm Erin of Happily Erin, your host, and with me are two of my three lovely co-hosts as well as a very special guest. Why don't we go around and have everybody introduce themselves, please?
Hi guys, I'm Dodger, and I love Boku no Hero, and I'm delighted that we read it again so quickly. Also, Erin's not feeling well, so if you could all give her some love, that would be great, because she deserves it.
Thanks.
all the digital snugs.
You're so sweet.
This is adorable. How the hell am I gonna follow that up? Not even enough for me to talk to anyone. And I also enjoy Boku no Hero Academia. It's a good time. Plus Ultra and all that jazz.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Yeah.
is.
Ditto. Well, my name is MissArt, and I'm very excited to be back on MangaPod to talk about more of Boku no Hero Academia with you guys. So thank you for inviting me.
Yay!
Yay.
Thank you for coming back. We always love having you on. You're always a wonderful guest, and you're the most pleasant lady ever.
Aw,
So pleasant.
shucks.
If you guys have never joined us for a manga pod before, what we like to do is give you a short spoiler-free description of the manga that we read, aka a summary, and we will have that read by our lovely guests, and then we'll give you our spoiler-free recommendations, whether we think you should spend time going to read this manga or not. That way, if it sounds like something you are interested in reading, you don't have to be spoiled for it. Once we get to spoiler section, you can take your leave, go and read the chapters that we have read, and then come back and watch the VOD of this on youtube.com/happilyerin. We ask that nobody post any spoilers or anything in the chat until we get to spoiler section, and then after that, please don't post any spoilers for anything past chapter 89. So please don't do that. Let's go ahead and have Miss Art read our description, please.
Alrighty. Let me pull it up here. Okay, synopsis. One day, a 4-year-old boy came to a sudden realization. The world is not fair. 80% of the world's population wields special abilities known as quirks, which have given many the power to make their childhood dreams of becoming a superhero a reality. Unfortunately, Izuku Midoriya was one of the few born without a quirk, suffering from discrimination because of it. Yet, he refuses to give up on his dream of becoming a hero. Determined to do the impossible, Izuku sets his sights on the elite hero trading academy, UA High. However, everything changes after a chance meeting with the #1 hero and Izuku's idol, All Might. Discovering that his dream is not dead and not a dead end, the powerless boy undergoes special training, working harder than ever before. Eventually, this leads him to inheriting All Might's power, and with his newfound abilities, gets into his school of choice, beginning his grueling journey to become the successor of the best hero on the planet.
Woo! Awesome. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and do spoiler-free recommendations. Would anybody like to go first?
I want to go first.
Do it, Lou.
I love Boku no Hero. I think the first time we read it, like, I was so down on this manga. I was not a fan. I hated it so much. And then we read it the second time, and I fell in love with it. Like, we went all the way through the second arc, and it was just an amazing experience. And then the first season of the anime, which just went on sale, and which I happen to already own. Like, it just went on sale today.
Oh.
So, like, just I've developed a real interest in this manga, and we read more of it, and I'm happy that we read more of it. I think I prefer the second batch of reading that we did more than this section, but this still, there was so much to this, and I love Boku no Hero. I recommend it very much, and I want to start collecting the manga because I feel like I want to own that and reread it multiple times because I'm sure there's stuff in the first go through of the reading that I definitely missed.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, go read Boku no Hero. It's good.
Yeah, I can go next. I'm the same. Like, so all of us were like, this manga is just like okay when we first read it, and then yeah, the second batch of reading I absolutely loved. This third batch of reading I absolutely loved. It's become when we first read this, I don't remember who brought it up, but we were talking about how it was being pitched as like the next big shonen battle manga.
Mhm.
And we were all like, really? Because this is pretty fucking weak. But as like at the point that we're at now, that's totally what it is for me. I love all of the characters. I'm so invested. I love the anime. I love the manga. So I highly recommend it. Absolutely.
Well, I'll ride on the coattails of you guys because I think we all kind of had a pretty similar experience with our first batch reading, which is exactly what you said, Dodger. It was like this was supposed to be the next big shonen battle.
Yeah.
What are we missing? And it wasn't until we got to our second batch reading that we were like, oh, I see. This is becoming worth the hype. And I definitely enjoyed this third batch as well. I think I enjoyed the second batch just a little bit more just because it focused on one arc a little longer. And I think we got a few more different stories in this batch of reading. But I really like the direction it's going where we left off. So yeah, if you enjoy Shonen Battle, just get through the first few chapters and it'll be totally worth your time. And yeah, this is one I think I'm considering picking up volumes as well.
Yeah, I agree with everything that has been said. I am so happy with how much I love Boku no Hero now because of like what you guys said about the first chunk of reading that we did being so like not living up to standards that had been set for it. And I also agree with Lou that I think the previous reading that we did I enjoyed more, but this still had so many things. It did so right all of the things that makes shonen great in terms of battles and strategy and characters and how they fight together and what their relationships, how the relationships are developing. And so Boku no Hero just understands what it needs to do to be a great shonen manga, and it develops on top of that and just keeps getting better and better. And it's so intense. Like there's parts that are just so good, and you're just goosebumps everywhere. So I'm really excited to talk about it. But I definitely think people should go and read it, especially if you're tired of the shonen battle genre. I think Boku no Hero, once like MissArt said, once you get past the first itty bit, it's gonna really light a fire inside of you. It's gonna make you really excited. So yeah, that's my spoiler-free recommendation. So let's go ahead and jump in the spoiler section. Anybody like to do counting?
Oh, I was just gonna say, because I can't remember if we said it already, but this is the third time that we're doing a MangaPod for this. If you haven't seen the first or the second one, you can find them on youtube.com/happily-aaron. That's where all the MangaPods are. So just as a heads up. Okay, now get out of here if you haven't read the manga.
Leave.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All Might is God.
All Might is God.
All Might is always God. Forever.
I think we said that the last 2 times as well.
Because it's either him or Deku, and either way, I'm happy. Like, they're both good God people.
Deku's not God yet.
No.
He's working on it, though.
He's God in training.
He's working really hard, yeah.
He's Peter.
God in training.
Working towards it. So the question that we usually start with when we get to this section is, what were you expecting before reading this manga? But we've read this manga twice already and discussed it. And so I don't know if you guys have anything you would like to add to that question. But we could also kind of rephrase it and say, what were you expecting going into this specific set of reading, having already read what we have up until this point? So answer it however you guys see fit.
I think I have an answer for that.
Yeah, go for it.
Because my expectations, each time I've done a MangaPod on this, has always been different, because the first time we did a reading on this, my expectations were really high, and I was very much underwhelmed. The second time I went into reading this, I was expecting to be underwhelmed and was blown away. And this time I understood the hype behind it, and I feel like this is the first time that it actually met the expectations that I had for it. So I didn't get that cathartic feeling of having my expectations exceeded, but I wasn't disappointed with what I read either. Like Boku no Hero Academia, I feel like has found its groove, and I'm curious to see where it's gonna go from this point forward, because we've already read 89 chapters, like total 89 chapters, and this last batch of reading accounts for almost half of it. So we really went into it this go around, and for it to maintain that level of quality for such a decent chunk of time, I think speaks to the level of quality this manga has to offer.
I loved seeing the actually, I think that this happened in the previous year. I went back a little bit, but I love every time we get to see panels from the beginning of the manga, because you get a really good idea of the way that the art has cleaned up. The art is so much better now, and every time they flash back, they don't redraw that panel. They just use the panel from whenever that happened. Yeah. And man, sometimes you're like, whoa, that's right. Ida looked really weird when we started reading. I remember this now.
He looked so boxy.
Yeah. But something that I also just really appreciate about Boku no Hero is that it always gets straight to the point. Mm-hmm. Like, if something's gonna happen, it happens, and they don't dilly-dally very much. Sometimes that might be a detriment, but for the most part, I really appreciate that, like, if things feel urgent, the manga treats them like they're urgent and like they need to happen now. Yeah. And yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why, like Lou said, we read so much this time, and when we sat down to do sound check, we were all like, fuck, we have so much to talk about, because like so much happened in that reading. So,
agreed. Yeah, like when I came into this, I just recalled my general really positive feelings from the last group of chapters that we read. So going into this batch, I was kind of riding on the curtails of my excitement of that. But when we jumped into these chapters, we were kind of reading like what happened afterwards, the aftermath, and the ramifications that came from Stain and his ideology coming to light for the general public. So it started off a little slower for me, and I was like, oh, I wonder if I'm going to like this batch as much as I did the other ones. And as I mentioned, I think it really picked up at the end, and I still feel like I have the same level of hype, especially like Dodger, what you're saying, with the art, just because the art continues to get better and better. And as an artist, I can appreciate how the mangaka has found his groove. And it's really coming through, and all the cool battles that we do get in this batch of chapters. So yeah, going in, I was expecting like to immediately feel that same hype that we left off on, and I was like, oh no, I'm not feeling it. But then, like you say, it didn't dilly-dally too much about like the school life, which I think are the slower parts. It got back into like the sense of danger, getting the villains back into the story, which I find is what I enjoy the most. So yeah, it drew me right back in pretty quickly. So.
Yeah, when they were talking about doing the second that they started mentioning, oh, we're all gonna go do outdoor camp, basically, I was like, all right, here we go. Here's
Summer
our
camp.
arc. Yeah, here's our arc that's gonna be entirely like, let's peep on the girls, and like all kinds of dumb tropes like that. And they started to do that, and then they were like, but this is Boku no Hero, and of course villains are gonna show up and ruin literally everybody's life. I was like,
yes.
Yeah,
Poor Mineta, he tried so hard to see a boob, and it didn't happen.
Bless his heart.
I love that he tried and it didn't happen, but little Kota, the boy, was trying to protect the girls, and then like was the
accidentally
one to see
saw them and was like, Buh!
It was like, oh no, it just passed.
Boob overload.
It was so cute. Yeah, so we kind of got actually like 2.5 different arcs with this guy. this chunk, we had the exam section. We had the training camp section, and then we had the rescue Sweet Kachan section, which we left off on a cliffhanger, which really hurts.
No.
It was very upsetting.
And it wasn't just
Fine.
like a cliffhanger, like hanger. Like it was the worst thing ever. Like we have All Might.
All for one and one for all, finally, like in the same place
Literally.
after all of this build-up, and then it was like the end, done with your reading.
I was like,
I was
No.
so mad. So mad. Like, and the thing is, that was a recommended stopping point. So someone dicked us over.
oh no!
How dare
Really?
I'm going to find
How dare
you.
they?
I'm gonna write you a strongly worded letter, sir, because that's not okay.
Dare they? No kidding.
So granted, I did notice that's when a volume ended. Like I think
Yeah.
it's like volume 9 or something. So that volume is ending on that terrible cliffhanger.
Yeah.
But still, it was cruel and unusual for us to stop there.
It hurt. Yeah, so that's why we got about half an arc. There was a lot of different. Actually, let's just go arc by arc. What did you guys think about the exam arc? Like, what were your guys' positives and your negatives about that arc?
I would say negatives, not to start off negative, but negative, I was like, oh no, we're getting back into the school life. And again,
Right.
like I mentioned, that's not where I think Boku no Hero's strength is. I think it adds flavor, but the strength is like putting all the characters into really dangerous situations with the villains. So like that wasn't like the most exciting, but it was kind of cool to see everybody and like the teachers and especially like beat up on the kids.
Yeah.
So I thought that was like, it was cool to see everybody showing off their powers and kind of showing how they've developed since like the villains attacked and all that stuff. But I don't think it was my favorite arc out of the 2.5 or 3 that we got in this bunch.
Yeah.
Right.
See,
No, go for it.
No. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I actually really enjoyed that arc because I love any opportunity that the mangaka has to sort of explain like the thought process of how to make these characters better. Like it's not just I love those moments where you realize, oh, these aren't just flippant like we're gonna put these two characters together because it would be funny. You know,
Yeah.
like I like that because Deku is such an analytical personality. He winds up in conversations analyzing what's going on all the time with the teachers. And it winds up being super cool because then they're like, oh yeah, we put these people with this person because this is their weakness and these people with this person because this is their weakness. And I think that kind of stuff is really interesting because I know that last time we read this, I talked about this a little bit, but something that I just really appreciate is that no matter how much stronger Deku gets, he continues to still be like a brainiac in a lot of ways. And I think that that's so cool that they haven't just turned him into like, well, he can punch his way through stuff. He still constantly has those moments where he thinks through things, and I love it. So I like those moments where we get lots of that.
Yeah.
Cool.
What were you gonna say, Lou?
Here's my perspective on the school exam. I like the content of it, but I don't like the implication of it. In other words, I like the way the exams were structured, the conflicts within the exams, the way the exams were portrayed. There was a lot of really well done comedy in the exams. There was also some pretty great action sequences in the exams. But the implication of that is, if you notice, the majority of them passed the exam. And even though the pro heroes had a handicap, it kind of messes with the scale of strength that there's supposed to be, where these pros are supposed to be the top, the cream of the crop, the best heroes available, and they're working at this school to train the next generation. Yet the next generation, even if they have a little bit of they have the ability to work together, are able to overcome these pro heroes. And like they made it a point in one of the chapters to say specifically, that the teacher said that he just made a decision, and he wasn't holding back. And the fact that the students were able to overcome them, it makes me wonder or question how much really can the students grow if these are their teachers. They're already able to overcome them to a certain extent. Like, yeah, All Might had weights on his wrist, but look at what what Deku and Bakugo were able to do. Like, they were able to overcome his strength and outmaneuver him. So what does that say about the pros? Was that meant to weaken the pros, or was that to lower the ceiling for the students to make them seem more viable in a fight against the villains? It just messes with the sense of scale.
I didn't actually feel that way at all. But I think one of the things that kept me from feeling that way was there was an obvious moment, specifically with Izuku and Bakugo and All Might, where All Might like just kind of let them win at the end there. Like, Deku punched him, and then they started running away, and there was a moment where All Might was like, "You just punched me with all you got. Good job, kid."
Yeah.
Right? And like basically let them win. So I don't know. I think I was willing to have the expectation that they were never actually going all out, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't really think on that too much.
Yeah.
Oh,
go ahead.
I was just gonna like comment. That's a good observation, Lou. And I'm wondering if it had something to do with like the next two arcs that came up, because in the next one, which is summer camp, we see all their wonderful little heroes to be like facing their next big villain challenge. And I wonder if we walk into that with a little more confidence, having come from these final exams and having watched the students go against the teachers rather successfully. And then the next arc is the teachers themselves facing the next big challenge, which is the All for One and the Villain Alliance and all their cronies. And we see how they're starting to struggle a little bit. So I'm wondering, just because you brought it up, I'm wondering if the mangaka did that purposefully just to kind of start setting expectations, setting doubt towards the teachers, the pros, their skill level, and then kind of building up at the same time the students' abilities, just so it leads into that. Whether that's what they were thinking or not, that's the first thing that popped into my head. So
it's also probably something with those exams is they wanted to see who they could like flunk too, so they knew how to plan the camp battle. Because they needed to have like specific, like the remedial students had to be back in the cabin during that battle. And so it might be something where, in terms of strategy from the mangaka's point of view, it was like, okay, what characters do I need to make sure are matched up, and which ones can I kind of set aside, and then will get utilized more later on. And so I think it was also something, I think it was a combination of all of that, probably, for sure.
I can see that.
What about summer camp, guys? Pussycat dolls.
Oh my gosh, I laugh so much about Tiger.
Tiger's the best. Tiger's the best like, pussycat.
So funny.
Oh, and I happened to glance through, you know how they have those like half chapters?
Yeah.
In between. It was like Tiger started out as a female, but then went to Thailand. And I was like, what?
Wait, that's what it said?
It literally said that on his bio. And I was like, oh goodness. But no, he's the best. He's the best.
He's so funny. I love him. Shoot, I was going to say something, but I can't remember it. Yeah. So what do you guys think about that arc from start to finish? Though, in between the exam arc and at the very beginning of the camp arc, we have Deku meeting the baddie, the bad dude, Hands guy.
Oh yeah,
Hands. What Hands dude? So what do you guys think about that? About their meeting?
I was happy it happened, because when they were all going shopping, I was like, oh no, they're just shopping. This could be fun, or it could get really silly. And I was happy that like it took a darker turn.
They don't ever let anything just be like goofy.
I love
it'll
that,
it'll
though.
start off feeling
Very.
goofy, and then it'll be like, no.
There's no slice of life episode. There's no one student is failing, so we must all study together episode. There's no shopping episode. No real. I can't remember what I read before, but I don't think there's been a bathhouse episode yet. I don't think so.
I mean, the closest we got was the one bath scene.
Yeah.
But that's it, and then, people almost died.
Right.
So,
So kind of.
Yeah.
So I'm happy we get these tropes. And then I'm like, oh no, but then I should stop worrying at this point, because each time it's proven that it's gonna get interesting.
It's gonna be better.
Oh my God. MissArt, we're gonna have like a chapter where somebody goes, we should all go to the beach, and nothing bad is gonna happen the entire time they're at the beach, and we'll all be like, no.
no, but like it would be great if that happens, and the characters are self-aware of shit always happens when they go anywhere. So if they just parrot
Maybe we shouldn't.
None of them can relax. They're all just incredibly tense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I did like that we finally got the little boy hates all of the main characters trope, because that's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Little angry boy. So he was precious. I also love this was sort of like an effect of that arc, but I like how often people are winding up with wounds that don't go away. I really like that. I like that every time Izuku does some crazy shit, they're like, all right, well, you're fucking yourself up.
Yeah.
And then we get like actual visuals of like, this is what his body looks like now,
Yeah.
And poor Todoroki, when he was like, I feel like every time I'm involved, people's hands get messed up.
Oh, yeah, that
I
was
was like, oh, baby.
He's so
Precious.
sweet.
I know.
Precious baby.
Oh, so on Little Angry Boy, like everything about like this section of reading, or again, I feel there's a lot of Naruto vibes whenever I read Boku no
That's
Hero,
what I
and I
thought,
mean
too.
specifically like early Naruto, like
Yeah.
Definitely.
like the weird muscle controlling guy, like that
Mm-hmm.
that
That
Deku
like
had to punch.
was able to just constantly create new muscle. That guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that, the combination of him and Angry Little Boy, like for some reason it reminded me of Zabuza.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like with the whole, like you have the angry little boy that's upset about everything because his parental figures were killed by some sort of by some person. And I think this version or this iteration of it does it a little bit better, because the person that the main character ends up fighting is the person that killed Angry Boy's parents.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, baby boy.
And I also like that that muscle guy didn't harbor any resentment towards the kid, because it was just a byproduct of the fight. Like he acknowledged, like there wasn't any hatred there. It was just like, no, it was just I was better. They lost. And like, yeah, they hurt me a little bit. So I have this fake eye, but that's okay.
I think that is something that the mangaka does really well, is helping us see into the mind of the villains.
Mhm.
Like Stain, when we read that whole arc with Stain, all of us were just like, holy shit, Stain was an incredible character, because like you understood exactly what he was saying. Like you could totally understand where like what he was thinking, and I love that. I love that all of these characters that we're getting to meet, and there's such a big variety of them, that they all have different motivations, and they communicate them in a way that where you're like, yeah, totally, like that's who you are, that's the sort of person you are, like you don't give a shit, you just got to fight and you're happy because you got to fight, right? Like, yeah, I liked that too.
Good storytelling.
Yeah.
Good storytelling.
Good
storytellers
writing.
will always, will make their villains relatable. That's what makes a good villain.
Yeah.
Oh, poor how I can't remember his name ever, but poor Crow
Which one?
Boy.
Oh, Crow
Todoroki.
Boy.
Or
Oh,
no,
I love
Tokoyami.
him.
Tokoyami.
Tokoyami.
I love him so much, and when he was going, like, when
He's my favorite.
he lost control, I was like, oh no, baby! You're surrounded by villains! They're gonna want to touch your butt!
No, see, I got a lot of Naruto vibes, especially from that scene as well,
Yeah.
because, I mean, again, young Naruto, that was something he always struggled with, was controlling the dark energy within him. But yeah, I was like, oh no, the precious baby.
I thought you were going to say the kidnapping arc. The kidnapping stuff happened, which also reminded me of Naruto.
Oh. Yeah, I was like, is this Sasuke?
Yeah, I was like, what's happening? Yeah, so the Bakugo getting captured stuff going on. And yeah, what are you guys' feelings about that?
You mean Sasuke retrieval part 2?
Sasuke retrieval part 2.
But again, they got into that shit so fast.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, okay, we're gonna leave Bakugo in their hands so that by the time, you know, the heroes or our main characters show up, you know, you question whether or not he's been turned to the dark side. Like, immediately they were like, we're gonna go get him, right?
Yes.
So we're gonna go get him.
And not only that, like, they also have Bakugo say, like, basically he tells them to fuck off, that he's doesn't care, like, you know, he looks up to All Might, and you know, he's his own person. It was great. That
panel when he said, like, I love the way All Might looks when he wins.
Yeah.
That was such a good panel. I was like, yes.
It was so good.
Yeah. I still believe so strongly that it would be way too obvious for Bakugo to ever be a villain.
Yeah.
Like, way too obvious. And I like that we've gotten so much resistance from him of just like, no, fuck yourselves. Like, I'm not a villain. I don't believe in your shitty cause. Like,
yes.
I love it.
Exactly. And and that's like another trope that they're playing on, is like the childhood friend becomes the villain, and then this new hero has to kill him or make him turn back to the good side. And this is just like totally not that at all.
Yeah.
He's just like, no,
it's so
fuck
refreshing.
You. I'm Kachan. Fuck you.
Oh my god, when the lady used her telepathy, it was like, apparently there's a student named Kachan who's in danger, and everybody was like, lol.
I know. And I love that because she used Kachan. Bakugo was like, fucking Deku. He knew that it was all related went back to Deku just because of that nickname. Which I thought that was really funny. I thought that was clever too. That's like, I feel like the mangaka was just waiting for that joke that time, so that's why they gave him that nickname in the first place, so that they could use that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, something else that I liked about this section of reading is kind of the absurdity of some of the weapons that we saw people use. Like, there's that one villain that had a bunch of swords changed to each other as one giant sword. That was badass.
Yes.
And then there was the Nomu that had all the chainsaws sticking out of him.
Yes.
Yeah. That was so
Or even
weird.
like the guy that was like his teeth or something with his weapon. I was like, how is that practical?
Right? I thought the gas boy got taken down so easy, but it was like a really good scene, which was cool with the two supporting characters, but he got taken down real easy peasy.
Yeah. I'm delighted that we have a yandere character.
Yes.
So, you know, she just wants to be everybody's friend, and she wants to bone Izuku, but she also wants to drink all of their blood.
Yeah, she just wants their blood.
All right.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah. I was so freaked out when Frog Girl got her tongue cut. I thought that she had like got it all the way cut off. It freaked me out. I went, no, what did happen to you? But she's got a little slit. Yeah. Yeah, I really loved that arc. That was the arc that I got just so much exhilaration from, especially when Deku, Shojin, I'm trying to remember, the wing guy, met up with Todoroki and Bakugo. And like, so we had that moment of them all going together, which was another funny moment because Kachan's like, you're all not gonna fucking protect me. I'll do it myself. And they're like, all right, you walk in the middle.
Immediately gets kidnapped.
Immediately. Like he's like, nah, you just walk between us. You'll be fine. And Bakugo's like, what? I'm not. What? Because you can tell it is not his personality to do that. But yeah, then he instantaneously gets kidnapped. But
I also loved like, because I was so jazzed when telepathy girl like told everybody like, your teacher says that you are cleared for combat, and I was like, fuck yes, it's about to get super real. And then immediately followed it up with, but Bakugo can't fight. Bakugo, please avoid all fight. And he was like, what are you doing this to me? You told me I could fight people.
It was so funny. I think one of my favorite moments out of the reading that we did that I thought was just so cool was when they go after the magician guy who took the two little things that Bakugo and the other guy are in. And so they like fling him like a rocket or whatever, and then they land on the guy and smash him into the ground. The way that that's drawn is so cool. I thought that was like an epic moment where you don't really think someone like jumping on another person and like slamming him to the ground could be that epic, but I just thought that was an incredibly well done moment. Like, out of everything that happened in those fights, all the crazy moves and everything, that one was just the one that stuck out to me the most.
I think it was because it was at that point of they're really tired, they've just been battling, and they had no hesitation. They were just like, we gotta go save our friends. And I think that's just what kind of added to it. It's like, wow, they're really going for it.
Yeah, they were desperate. You could really feel the desperation for it.
Yeah.
And you could see it in their faces and even their body language when they land. And then also when they go to grab the coins that their friends are in, that whole sequence is drawn really well as well. So.
And poor belly button kid who had been hiding the entire time.
Oh yeah,
finally had his
I like
moment.
that he had his moment. I was like,
Yeah.
yes. Poor guy.
No.
Yeah.
It was good. Yeah, I enjoyed that arc overall.
Yeah.
I thought it was good.
Yeah,
I was like, oh
that's
no,
pretty
it's gonna be summer camp, but it was like, oh wait, this is Boku no Hero.
No.
It's gonna be a terrible, terrible summer camp.
Yeah.
So after the summer camp, we had a lead in to wait, something I want to say more about summer camp. Do you guys think that Erasehead or whatever his name is related to the other dude who just joined the villains?
Which dude?
The black-haired
Zombie-looking
dude who's
dude?
like all burned here, who they fight against each other. They fight against
The guy
each
who's
other.
got like zombie face.
Yeah,
whatever.
zombie face.
I don't remember them talking in a way where it seemed like they.
Yeah, I don't think
Knew
so.
each
I mean,
other?
they have similar designs.
Because
But,
when
I
they when what's his name? Eraser? Is it just Eraser?
Aizawa.
Eraserhead.
Eraserhead or Aizawa, yeah.
Aizawa. So when he is exiting to go and help the first time, and the dude is out there waiting, and he shoots his flame or whatever it is, his quirk. They say each other's names. I thought maybe I misread it, but I thought that Eraserhead said his name right before he got exploded. But I could be completely misremembering that, since I am just ready to fall asleep.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I remember the zombie guy. What is his name? It's like Decky or something like that.
Dobby.
Yeah, something like that.
There-
I remember him saying Eraserhead's name, but that makes sense because Eraserhead's more well known.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
So, but I don't know if I recall Eraserhead saying his name.
Find out. I'm gonna figure it out.
Just have to reread it.
Yeah. You guys talk about the next arc, which we got. So after the summer camp, we went into the rescue Bakugo arc. So what are your guys' feelings about everything that's happening there?
Well, speaking of Aizawa, we got to see him all cleaned up trying to look media ready, and I thought that was hilarious.
I was like, wait, is that him? My baby?
Yeah, I was so confused.
I had to scroll back up to confirm because I didn't believe it. I just thought it was just some generic guy, and like I scroll back up, like they're like, oh
Yeah,
look,
just
he's
some
all
UA
he's
dude.
all done up. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then I scroll up, and I just kind of like take a second and just glare at him, and I don't know. It was weird to see him dressed up like that.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
Not a fan. He's not edgy. He needs to be more edgy.
Look, yeah, he's not meant to be a cleaned up dude.
No.
It's not his fate to be clean.
I mean, I think that we all knew that shit was gonna go wrong, right? The second they were like, we're gonna go no combat. We're gonna go save Bakugo, covert operation. We've talked about this maybe twice. Let's do it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Believable.
Sorry.
Oh my god, Aaron. So unprofessional.
Much unprofessional.
I'm just watching an ad. It's fine, guys. I was trying to get to that stupid. Stop it! Just want to find out if they're related and I'm not crazy. I missed what I was drowning in the music over here. What you guys were just saying. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, we were just saying that, like, we all knew that even though they didn't plan on anything going wrong.
Oh, they just like pieced over. They're like, all right, bye. Yeah. I thought their disguises were pretty hilarious.
Me too. I love those
really
disguises.
Deku always saying like "ora."
Alright. That was pretty amazing. Alright. I love that Todoroki just like accepted his weird like Adam Lambert hair. Like he just
So good.
It was so fun. I didn't even recognize Ida for a second. I was like, wait.
With the little mustache
the
and stuff. So good.
You know what character I think got possibly of like the secondary characters, the secondary character that got the most development was Momo. Momo got a fuck ton of development in this section of reading, and I'm glad because I really like her. I think her power's cool. Her power's creation. She can make, using the lipids inside her body, she can create whatever she needs.
Yeah,
and,
that was cute when she was worrying about making money.
I know.
Yes.
Oh, I can't disrupt the economy.
That was so cute.
That was adorable, but also like going back to the very beginning of this section of reading during the exam arc where she was paired with Todoroki, and she had this complex where she couldn't make, like, she was assessed by Aizawa as being incapable of split decision making because she was unsure of herself and she lacked self-confidence because she revered Todoroki. And then you had within that same arc Todoroki acknowledging that, no, like, I believe in you, I know you're more capable, I'm one of the people that voted for you to be class president. So you have her taking steps and really affirming herself. And it wasn't until that last bit of the camp, the battle at the camp, where we have
He like made all the masks and stuff.
Well, not only that, but also that last minute thing where she places the transmitter on the Nomu that was
Yes.
That's like All Might acknowledges that, that, all right, you couldn't fight, but this shows that you were able to grow as a person. And that last little bit in the hospital like really affirms that she has had character development. And that's what I'm liking about this show, or this manga, is that there is character development for everyone, not just the main character.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Good.
love
many
them all
characters
so
to
much.
love.
I know.
They're all precious.
They're all the
Them all
best.
They're great heroes.
I love them. I just want to protect them and also see them just fight all the time. It's just so cute. Should we talk about art super fast? Are you guys feeling about the art?
Yeah. Loving it. Love it.
Love
You
it.
can tell the mangaka is just, like I said, hitting his stride. And I see more confidence, not only in the execution and the mark making of his work, but even the choices, the angle choices. I just see more maturity And each new panel and each new fight scene in particular, I see him trying things, even trying new styles, going from more very tight mark making to very brushy, more expressionistic sort of strokes.
Yeah.
And I love it. I think it's great to see artists like stretching out and trying new things. So I think it was good the last batch. I think the first batch, of course, we all agree the art was kind of but then it got really good in the second batch, and I think it's just getting even better in this third batch. So it's just adding to the joy of reading this manga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sorry.
No, you go ahead.
All I was gonna say is I absolutely love the art. I think there were a couple of times where I would have wanted an extra panel. Like there were a couple of times where there was a leap visually where I was like, wait, what happened? Wait, what just happened? Like some things weren't super clear. And I didn't feel like that was necessarily excusable sometimes because the art is so crisp now.
Yeah.
So I was like, how come I don't understand what just happened? How come I had to go back and like reread that, you know?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna just say, because I think the panel transitions at times were just very whack. I was like, wait, what? The one that I remember the most was when All for One appeared and like killed, like destroyed all of those pros. I was so confused. I thought I had skipped 2 or 3 pages. I kept scrolling back.
Me too. What happened?
I was like, wait, what? Like, where is it? I don't understand where even the kids are. Like, I wish that we'd had a reaction of them, of like what was happening. And I get that it was supposed to be like so quick that even they didn't understand, but it was, it needed to be shown. It was one of those things that would have been a lot better if it had been shown. But I do agree that like the art has gotten so much better. The way that the mangaka can express emotion is phenomenal. And the fight and action sequences are so cool. Like the art, I think, is just really cool and neat, and it's perfect for this type of manga, and it does it justice. So I think it's wonderful.
Yeah.
I agree with all they said. The art was at the beginning of the manga, it was okay, then it got good, and it's still good. So yeah, it's good. I'm happy. I'll be honest, like the art in the manga is great, but I prefer the anime. The anime is just choice.
Good.
It's doing good.
The anime
it's
is
translating
so
so well.
It is. It really is. Yeah. Every time a new episode's out, Sam and I are like,
must watch.
we're so invested in it.
Aw, it's so good. Yeah. It's such a good series. I posted in chat, I did find that panel I was thinking about. So I don't know if you guys wanted to look where Eraserhead walks out. And yeah, so I don't know if that means anything, but it looks like a name. And so that's why I was like, oh shit, they know each other. Because we don't know Dobby's real name. We only know him as Brad, or as Dobby. And so when he says Brad, I was like, is Brad a quirk? Is that what that means? But
Brad.
So that is why I asked you if
no,
he
wasn't
was
Brad.
related.
Brad is the other instructor that was there.
Oh, is that what it is?
Brad is the instructor that's inside.
Oh,
I think you might be right.
I'm almost positive.
Okay,
because he's like
I
the
remember
B
being
class.
like, Brad, really?
Okay, well that makes
if you go one page
okay.
back, he says, Brad, keep an eye on things in here for me, etc.
Oh.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
We did it.
Then.
We solved it. We solved the mystery.
We
Brad?
did it. Yeah, if you Google images, Brad, there he is at the very top.
Okay. Wait, just Brad?
Boku no Hero Academia. Brad.
Oh, okay.
Like, let me qualify that because
most
If
popular
you type in
Brad.
Brad, it takes you directly to Boku no Hero.
It's Vlad King is the name of the character.
Vlad King. Okay. Vlad. All right. Do you guys have anything else you'd like to touch on? Otherwise, we're going to do final thoughts and ratings. Anybody?
I don't think so.
Okay. Would anybody like to go first? Brad.
Brad. Yeah, I give this manga a Brad out of 10.
Totally. I know exactly what you mean.
A Brad out of Not Related.
Yeah, Brad out of 10. Yeah, dude, like I absolutely love this manga, and it almost makes it sweeter that I didn't love it from the beginning. It almost makes it better that now I look back and I'm like, I'm so glad we read more, because at the beginning I was like, what is this trash garbage? It's great. It's fantastic, and I love the characters, and I'm so invested, and it's become like my adult onset Naruto, and I'm delighted because I was obsessed with Naruto when I was younger, and now I'm like, I feel some of those same feelings with Boku no Hero, where I love it all. So, yeah, so I'm glad that we've spent so much time reading it, and I think it's worth a read for sure.
That's not... Did you give a rating other than Brad?
Nope, Brad out of 10.
Perfect.
I can give it an actual number score. I
Do
mean,
it.
you know, like Brad out of 10 is a totally fair score. I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10 though. I feel like I enjoyed the last batch of reading more, but this still delivered. What you got there? Hold it closer. I can't see.
Oh, it's so
That's
boy.
great.
Precious
Ah,
dumb fire boy.
I like it.
Anyway, continue.
So yeah, 8.5 out of 10. I feel like it's a good read. I feel like it's starting to hit its stride, and I'm curious. Like, I feel like this is the point now that we've been introduced to the main antagonist, that the story is going to be taking off from here, and we're going to see a lot more character growth, and maybe a little bit more tragedy is not far off on the horizon. So
I'm so worried one of the kids is gonna die soon.
I know. I'm like, who's gonna die? I feel like the other kid that's there with them to rescue Bakugo, I feel like he might die. I feel like he might be one to die.
No!
Just saying.
They're
We'll
all
see.
precious. None
Saying.
can die.
None of those should die!
Like,
Just saying.
it's scary to think about it, but you know what? Like, death adds narrative stakes, and that's like one of my biggest gripes with this manga is that the characters have all been relatively safe.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, they've been in dangerous situations, but apart from some nagging injuries, they've all come out okay. You know, so I want to see, like, for example, the kid's parents, the kid that Deku saves, like the fact that we're being introduced to the concepts of heroes dying while on the line of duty. Well, the fact that that's being put in the forefront of our minds makes me think that, okay, you know, there are narrative stakes. These heroes aren't all going to be okay. A lot of these kids at some point down the line, be it within within the timeline that's available to us in a story, or maybe after in the after period after Boku no Hero ends, like, these characters are going to die, or a lot of them are going to die, because it's a dangerous profession. So I guess we'll see, but I feel an 8.5 out of 10 is a fair score, and I feel like it's gonna go up, like 8.5, and it's going to go up. And the only reason why it isn't higher is because fucking cliffhanger.
Fucking
cliffhanger.
The cliffhanger.
Can I just point out, chat is still going with the Brad memes right now,
It's cracking me up.
and I think my
Boku no Brad.
favorite is wait, why are children dying? Why isn't Brad saving them?
Chat too good.
Too good. Sorry, MissArt. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. I really enjoyed these chapters overall, and I enjoyed the character development we got. And again, yeah, I like the sense of danger that was presented, and especially the last two arcs that we got, the summer camp, and now that they're pursuing All for One and the Villain Alliance, that's what they're called. I'm especially feeling a lot of dread when it comes to All Might's fate. Like, I already got the sense,
Yeah, I think All Might might die.
Yeah,
Oh,
like, I get
100%.
that that's gonna happen. That's
so
gonna
good.
happen. But now I'm really worried because we know he's even weaker, and we don't really know how much weaker All for One guy is. He still seems pretty strong if he can like do this or something and push everyone away. So that's who I'm dreading for the most. I don't know as far as when the kids are gonna start like facing like true death. I mean, in Naruto, it took forever.
It did.
And it only got like Neji, I think, eventually died. And that was a long time. It took a very long time to get to that point. So I'm curious how the mangaka is going to address that with his young characters. If he's going to follow that path of Naruto and taking forever for one of them to die, or is he going to do the interesting thing and really put a character to the test and break our hearts? I'll be curious to see how that goes. No, but I really enjoyed this grouping, so I would give it about an 8.5 as well. And I agree. I think it's only going to get better, especially since we left off on a cliffhanger and things were just beginning to escalate even more. So it was good.
Yeah. I'll give it an 8.5 as well. I think, like Lou said, the previous set of readings I think was stronger, but I still really enjoyed this and I enjoyed a lot of what we read. I thought it was really solid. I thought the action was awesome. The art was amazing. Character development, relationships, everything was really built upon. I didn't think anything was lacking or gone backwards in terms of quality, and I think that's all you can really ask for. So I think 8.5 is solid. I think it's going to just keep getting better and better, and I'm excited for some really great payoffs because Boku no Hero has definitely delivered on those in the past, and so I have full faith that it's going to do so again. So 8.5 for this one. That wraps up our discussion on Boku no Hero. We hope that all of you enjoyed our talking about it. If you stayed through spoilers and you haven't read it, you should definitely go and read it. Please, 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 go
do it.
Do it.
I'm going to go ahead and read the summary for the manga that we are discussing next week. And I'm not going to say the name while I do it. All right? Because chat, fun little game, chat gets to guess what it is while I'm reading the summary.
Just don't say it out loud before you start reading it. Not that you've ever done that before.
It's
not Aaron.
I have, for those who don't understand that inside joke, I have done that before. Once out of all the lives that I've lived. One time. All right. Blank and Blank are childhood friends who have experienced hell and live to talk about it. They arrive in Japan to attend school and soon witness the corruption and apathy of the country's population. Enraged, Blank and Blank vow to create a new Japan, a sanctuary with a new form of...
It wouldn't have stood out at all.
That's what I realized halfway through. With the new form of politics devoid of corruption, where people are empowered to participate in the politics and future of their country. To accomplish this, Blank and Blank aim to conquer Japan. There are two dramatically different routes: the Japanese diet and the akuza. Decided by a game of rock, paper, scissors, Blank ventures to seize control of the underworld while Blank pursues the position of prime minister. Blank is a dark political thriller that tells the story of two friends as they attempt to change Japan from the inside out and create their blank. Even though I might as well say it because I already said it once, but whatever. Has anyone gotten it yet? Sanctuary, yeah.
I mean, they've gotten the major word.
Yeah.
Well, literally the title is Sanctuary. So so that is what we are reading next week. Sanctuary, chapters 1 through 20. 1 through 27 is what we will be discussing next week. Let's go around and shout out our stuff. super duper fast. I am Erin of Happily Erin. I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/Happily Erin. I do a bunch of weeb stuff. If you want to find me on any other social media, I'm Happily Erin all across the everything. I posted some videos of my baby playing with my dogs today, so if you want to go follow me on Twitter, that's what I post.
Adorable.
She was just so happy. They were not as happy to be chased around, but yeah, so that's me. If you want to come say hi and stuff.
Hi guys, I'm Dodger, and you can find me on YouTube at Press Heart to Continue, and you can find me on Twitch at DexBonus. And I do video gamey stuff, I do anime-y stuff, and I would just love to have you hanging out. So yeah, come see if what I do is your jam.
Cool. My name is Brad, and I'm from Brad Talks Anime.
Yes.
Brad.
Where we are all Brad.
Yes.
Brad. Boku no Hero, where we're all Brad.
My name is Leo, and I'm from Leo Talks Anime, and I occasionally make anime-related content on there, which there being my YouTube channel, so youtube.com/Leo Talks Anime now. You can find me on Twitter. I post pretty regularly, usually live streaming, or not live streaming, but like live reacting to whatever anime I happen to be watching at the time, or just commentating on things that I've been reading, or I live anime basically. Yeah. Oh, and I did. While I haven't really posted any like recent anime content on my channel, I did like I am a part of another podcast called the Anime Association, and we did a recent episode on Your Name, which was in theaters. I don't know if it's still in theaters, but it was in theaters last week. And a few friends of mine, Jack from Under the Scope and Random from Random Sama 613, we had a brief discussion on that and a few other topics, and it was a lot of fun. And yeah, you'll find that linked on my Twitter somewhere. So go check that out. It was a fun discussion. And yeah, that's all my stuff.
Cool. Well, my name is MissArt, and you can find me on the YouTubes. If you just type in MissArt, I'll usually be the first one that comes up. MissArt. And if you like Naruto or Boruto, as it's known now, then definitely come drop by my channel, because I do primarily focus on that series and franchise, as well as I like to host a somewhat often MissArt Monday live stream where I like to just hang out with you guys most Mondays. And you can find me also on Twitter, where I'm relatively active at Artsy Alley. And I'm on Twitch, though I hope to be more active on Twitch soon. I got to get back into my live stream drawing and all that fun stuff. But yeah, I like anime things. I like art things. So if you think you like me, come check out my stuff if you feel like it.
Yeah.
Again. Yay! And thank you again, guys, for having me on to discuss Boku no Hero. It just keeps getting better and better, so I'm super hyped to read more.
Yeah.
Me too,
Well,
man.
thank
Yeah.
you so
Discuss
much
it
for-
with you guys.
Thank you so much for coming on. You're a wonderful guest as always, and we always love having you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you to everybody who watched us both on Twitch and YouTube, and you're watching the VOD of this. Thank you so much for watching the end as well. We really appreciate it. We will be here same time, same place next 30. Next 30. Is that what I said?
Next
Did I say
30.
Next 30. Next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, talking Sanctuary chapters 1 through 27, and we will see you guys later. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.